Hello, welcome to Illinois in Garden Zone 5 on this end of May early morning, about 5:30 in the morning garden tour. We did have a very harsh winter, so I did lose a lot of my roses over the winter. Some of them did not come back at all, and some of them I ended up having to cut all the way down to the ground, like my climbers here, the generous gardener roses. But as you can see, they are coming back. They're about halfway up the arbor now. But if you remember last year, they were completely covering the arbor. The limelights back in the back there, I decided this year I would prune them up. So I took off all the bottom branches, and I am liking that a lot better, making them more into a shrub type format. I did get a new rose standard that I just planted over Mother's Day weekend here in a double pink knockout. I thought that was really pretty. And I wanted something smaller just because I walk back to the window boxes and walk into the garden, and I didn't want any thorns poking me as I walked by. So this works out really good, and that'll fill out pretty. Thought I would try that there. The catmint is in full bloom. And then my shrubs at the front of the garden are looking pretty. The cream brulee just started blooming, very, very pretty with those little cream colored flowers on it. And then the Weigelia is just finishing up its pretty pink variegated leaves and pretty pink blooms. These make really good cut flowers too to put in bouquets as filler. So I did use those in some bouquets. Now this year in the garden boxes, my motto for this year is low maintenance, which means not having to water every single day. I do not do drip irrigation, everything is hand watered. So I wanted something in the window boxes that would not require as much water. And I was also going for that European look with the ivy geraniums. Now that is kind of like a pinky color. It's not a true red because I ended up doing a dark pretty red up in the mailbox garden, but this is more of a pinky red, and I'm really liking it. It's a real nice pop of color. They're filling in very good, and I put a boxwood in the middle of both of the ones on the front with the ivy geranium. And I did an ivy geranium on each side, a boxwood in the middle, and then I did some lavender on the other side, and it's actually liking it. And I can control the water by watering the geranium and then not watering the lavender as much since they're more drought tolerant. So we'll see how that combination goes. Oh, and there is a little variegated ivy in the front that I tucked in. But every year I like to do something different in the boxes. And I did move my urns over to this side of the garden, put boxwoods in, tried making some standards on my own. I don't know, I'm thinking my boxwood standards didn't turn out as well as my rosemary standards that we did together a couple months ago, but I think they'll fill in. And we've got some whites in there, some thyme in there, and of course some superbena. So that'll look really pretty this summer too. And the Sitting Pretty Roses are doing their first flush. Now I did cut the Sitting Pretty Roses back a lot because they were just too much. This one here was just way too huge, and it had went clear over the pathway on both sides, so it needed to be cut back. So I did cut that back, and it'll fill in more. And I wanted more room for this hydrangea to grow too, so I wanted to give it some more space. So it will look pretty. That's a quick fire fab, and it looks gorgeous when these roses are all in bloom this summer. Now this is a tricolor salvia, and boy do I love this. Isn't that pretty? That's from Proven Winners, and I do like how it has the lavender and then the more of the white and then the darker purple on it. So all three colors on each one, and it fills in very nicely. And then we've got a hardy geranium over here that just started blooming with the pretty purple flowers on it. The Jane Magnolia in the back is getting so big. That's only its, I think we're on the second year or the third year. So it is getting big, and you can see the sun is just starting to come up. Now, I had told you in my video last time that I was going to move some stuff around, some of my garden stuff. So I did do that. We did end up, I relocated the urn down here, found an opening. It was previously down by the magnolia, and with the roses, you just couldn't see it anymore. The girl statue looks really cute there, but she may end up getting moved as the summer goes on and the roses fill in more. So this is a Lillian Austin rose, David Austin. I had to cut it way back. We've got some columbine in the back blooming right now. And these are our knockout roses. And again, the knockout roses had to go all the way to the ground and come back. So the double pink is just starting to bloom in there. I did plant a tree over the weekend. Behind the lady statue, I decided to do another arborvitae. So that's emerald green, and that's what all of these are. And when we planted these, this one we spaced farther and kind of brought it forward. And by doing that, it left a gap there, and I wanted to fill that gap in. So I went ahead, and there was a nice big space back there. So eventually that'll fill in and make a solid wall, which is what I was going for. Okay, this is our David Austin corner. I was concerned maybe that I lost the David Austins this year, but I ended up cutting the little sticks all the way to the ground, and they're coming back. So that's Desdemona, and it is just starting to put a bloom on right there, and that'll be a white bloom when it opens. It starts pink. Olivia Austin, she'll get huge. She was like 7 foot tall last year, so you can see how much I had to cut down. And she's got beautiful pale pink blooms on her that smell really good. Now my alliums are already done, so over the weekend I gave them a coat of lavender spray paint to make them last longer in the garden. And you can see it just gives it a little hint of color. This is Bosco Bell, and Bosco Bell is starting to bloom right there. More salvia. You can see I really like mixing the salvia in. The Jane Magnolia still has some blooms on it. Really like the Jane Magnolia. Perfect garden tree. You can shape it up. It's actually a shrub that I took all the bottom branches off of and made it into a tree. And then I just shape off, cut off what I don't want every year and continue to shape it. And just a nice garden tree. Oh, and the fountain we have on, but the fountain is under construction. The fountain I just turned on over the weekend because it's been so cold here. And when I went to put it together, I couldn't get it to go together. So I just turned it on like that. So we still need to fix it. It's under construction. I kind of like it like this, being open with the water going, but just having a single bowl, I think it'd be easier to clean than all the tiers. But it looks kind of bad, so we'll have to fix that. We have Winchester Cathedral. Look at that. This is a David Austin rose. Pretty whites, and it's full. We've got some knockouts back here in the double pink, some salvia, some columbine. Back on the fence, we have a clematis that's getting ready to bloom in a couple weeks. It'll be a dark purple. I ended up having to move my potted plant, my planter that was on my deck that has begonias and fern and polka dotted plant. It was getting too much morning sun even, and you can see it was getting leaf burn on the leaves. So I moved it out here under the tree, and it's liking it so much better. And this is another peony that's just starting to open that is 3 years old, and this is its first bloom this year. So I really like that it's blooming this year. We've got some white delphinium back here that's getting ready to open. And my one rose that I really like, my hybrid tea, made it and has blooms all over it. I didn't think it was going to make it. I had to cut it all the way to the ground. Most of my roses ended up looking like this. Isn't that sad? And this one I didn't think was gonna make it. And this is Princess Charlene. And it is just coming back. I have a little piece. Waited and waited to see if it was totally dead. But both of these are hybrid teas. And they ended up making it, but my hybrid teas back in the cut flower garden did not make it, which I was sad about, but it is what it is, dealing with winters in Illinois. And then this is my clematis I bought last year with you at Hornbaker's, and it has white flowers and it is getting ready to open. And can't wait to see it because it has them all over it. There's little buds and it's climbing all over the tutor. And then we've got our pretty roses, our climbers back there in that real pretty pink color. Just numerous all over. And this will I'm training this to go over the trellis on the wall. So that'll be really pretty as that fills in. That had a lot on there, but again, I had to cut a lot of it back. So we're kind of starting fresh on it, but that's okay. Our pink double knockout across the way here with the Bobos, Salvia, Veronica. Again, it's all looking nice. And then in my little urn this year, for now at least, I put in some pansies and violas. And those are looking really pretty for springtime. Our viburnum is done blooming. I have been cutting these viburnum. I'm going to cut this one probably today and take it in the house and just take one nice stalk of this and put it in a glass vase on the fireplace mantle, and it looks really nice. I had it kind of arching over, so I'll probably do that again and cut that. And then this little hydrangea I planted last year and it really is struggling. We have one little stalk on it and the rest of it died back. So I'm going to leave it and see what it does, but I was really hoping to fill in this whole area in front of the deck with this hydrangea, and it's not doing too well. I've got this tucked over here in the corner. Our daughter Devin got that for me for either birthday or Christmas. I don't remember. My birthday is close to Christmas, so that's why I don't remember, but one or the other. So it was tucked away all winter, and then I brought it out and just tucked it in right there. It's very similar to the one that I have on the other side with that more of the brown and cream colored tones. So I like it back there with the hosta, and then this is another limelight hydrangea on this side of the gate. Now the raised bed, before I take you up on the deck to show you how I did the deck this year, I did move the little table out here just because I thought it needed something out here. In the backyard, I was trying to par down and not have as much in the backyard. But when you come down the steps and you look through the arbor, there was really nothing over here. My plan was always to do more over here, and I just haven't got to it. So in the meantime, I thought this looked nice out here. The cut flower garden, I'm trying different things in again this year. This is its third season, and this year I'm going for more perennials. I've planted more perennials. I do have a lot of annuals in there too, and I've done some seeds that are filling in. But I planted some stuff and it was so cold it died. So we're starting again, and you can see it's still struggling. We've had a really weird spring here in Illinois with the cold. One day it'll be, this week it's in its 80s. A week or so ago it was in the 40s. So it's just kind of all over the place. So it's really taken a toll on the plants. In the terracotta pots, I did lavender this year. Again, thinking water, ease. It's not going to require as much water, so I have 3 lavender plants in each of them, and they're filling in nicely. But you can see this is just starting to fill in. We've got some annuals, some perennials. And as I find more things, I'll probably tuck in some more stuff. And if they don't work, then I'll take them out. Now in the urn here, I did the verbena. I'm really liking this superbena this year. I think this is really pretty, and I like it paired with the white. So that's all that's in the urn. Is I put two of these, I think, and maybe one or two of these. So every year, I told you, I like to try different things and see what works for me. And you can see I took the wicker furniture out of the garden house and brought it out to set out here. Now I'm liking my little secret garden area here, my pathway. It's filling in really nice. You remember my rabbits last year I had in the urns? Well, I tucked one here on top of one of the little pillars with the hostas. The hydrangeas are filling in nicely. All three of these are quick-fire fabs. I just got the little birdcage planted up with some annuals over the weekend. The Eden Rose I had to cut all the way to the ground. So the Eden Rose, it had some canes on it that were probably 12 foot tall, and it didn't make it. So we're starting over with the Eden Rose. And then last year I did move a clematis back here, and it's finally taken off this year. So that'll be pretty when all that fills in with a clematis. And if you're looking for quick growing arborvitaes, this one down here, okay, so my whole row is emerald green, but this one is a Proven Winners North Pole, and it's growing really fast. I just planted that in 23, and at that time it was only maybe 24 even. It's only been 2 or 3 years, and it was in the tiny pot, so in the gallon pot, maybe 18 inches tall, and look how tall that is. It's easily way over 6 foot. So it put on a lot of growth in a very, very short time. I'm really impressed with how much it's grown. Some pansies over here for a bright pop of color. Oh, John did put a new door on. I'm really liking our new door. And you can see there is my fountain in pieces to put together. Okay, so up on the deck. Now we're doing something different. I have this pad here. This is for the grill. We had that installed for the grill. Well, over the wintertime, we moved the grill up on the deck so it'd be easier to come out the French doors from the kitchen and cook. Well, John really likes the grill up on the deck, so we're leaving it up here because it's just much more convenient for him. And I'm not going to complain because he makes wonderful food. So if that's where he wants it, that's where we'll leave it. So it cut down my space on what I could do up on the deck though, because the grill does take a lot of space. So I added some herbs up here that are going to go in the house because with the cats, I can have certain herbs and they're fine with them. I do have 2 cats and they are curious and do like plants. So if you've watched my videos before, you know I don't do a lot of house plants anymore inside with the cats, but there are certain things I can take inside. The rosemary standards we did, I brought them outside because I thought they needed some more sun. So we're going to see if they'll perk up a little bit because they're kind of not as green as what they were, and I think it's just not enough sun inside. So I added a new umbrella, really like that, got that on Amazon. I just really like the detail on it. The wicker furniture I've had for a few years now from Home Depot. And then I did get a linen tablecloth this year and added just some plants. Devin got me this for Mother's Day, this little mini carnation. So I went ahead and potted it up in the green. And then I had some other green pottery planters, so I just kind of tied that in. So this is looking gorgeous, and it is a wave petunia, and I got that at Home Depot just in a hanging basket, and then I took it out of the hanging basket and tucked it into the planter, and then added a Proven Winners purple supertunia in there. I don't think I need the supertunia. I think this wave petunia is filling out so much. I might take this out and plant it somewhere else. And then look at these. Oh my gosh, they're gorgeous. Got 2 of those in there, and then this is the Proven Winners blue tiara, which looks purple to me. It doesn't look blue, but it is called blue tiara. But I like how these two play together. And then I tucked in a superbena in the solid purple. This was a sun patient, and I took it out of its pot and put it in this pretty green planter that I had found over Christmas break that had silk flowers in it. And I took the fake flowers, the faux flowers out and used the pot, and I really like the plot. And then tuck that in. And then in the terracotta, we have some lavender and some catnip. So just a little bit of color on the deck. And then from up here, you can see when I'm sitting out here drinking my coffee, I can look over into the garden. And we're just now starting to get some color. So it'll fill in more. I have a lot more roses that'll be blooming and perennials. But I just wanted to give you a look of how it's starting to shape up at May. Well, I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me today. Have a great day and enjoy your garden.